Hello, and welcome to the IATEFL live show. Happy New Year, girls!
Happy New
Year! How is everybody?
We're doing good. How are you, girls?
Also very well. 2025 has started quite nicely.
Absolutely, yes. Did you do anything interesting? Anything exciting?
Already?
No.
I think it's good to sort of put the bar a bit later in the year. Start at warm up, literally.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. Should take it slowly, pacing ourselves. Yeah, no, for New Year, I was in bed by 10, Georgia. How about you?
I must be honest. I fell asleep and put an alarm 10 minutes before the new year. So yeah, I welcomed the new year with my pajamas.
The best way.
Yes, absolutely.
If I add no comment, does that protect my reputation?
Yes. So let's welcome everybody. Welcome to our first IATEFL live show here on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. We're very happy to have you. And this year, I must say that the lineup of live shows that we're going to have is incredible. I cannot give much information at this stage, but it is absolutely incredible. And we are going to be connected with people, not only from the ELT industry, but from other educational industries. And this is very exciting because we need to hear fresh voices and we need to meet new people and network with new people. So I really hope that our participants enjoy our shows this year as well. So, girls, I have got a question for you because you know that I like playing games with you as well.
We know. Yes. Especially if you say it in that tone.
Yeah.
So, this is a question that I like to ask our participants, our audience as well. Anka and Nikki, what is one word that would describe your 2024?
Ooh, difficult. Maybe that's also the word I should use. It was an intense year. For me, it was really intense. I think I'll go with that one.
Do you know what? I think mine was quite calm, actually, in comparison. Yeah, I found it was quite a calm year, which I quite liked. Things settled down. So that was my word. What about you, Georgia? What's your word?
Nice. Nikki, I must say, though, with the exception of the IATEFL Brighton week, that was not calm.
That is true. That is true. Okay, that week, yeah, apart from.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Georgia, what describes you?
Mine would be definitely marathon, because it felt like a marathon, like trying to cross the finish line. And speaking, of course, of marathons, let's welcome to the stage, John.
I'm not doing a marathon. What are you talking about? Hi, everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. How are you? I haven't come up with a word for 2024. There are no words to describe it. But what are you talking about with the marathon?
Because you're doing something very interesting, John. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yes, absolutely. Can you tell I'm exhausted? So I'm currently taking on our January challenge at IATEFL. And so I foolishly agreed to try and walk 310 kilometers in January. So 10 kilometers a day on average. Which seemed like a good idea at the time before I remembered it's the middle of the winter, it's very dark, and I'm working full time. So it's proving a challenge, but that's what it's all about. And I have to say, I've had some fantastic support, some very generous donations, and some really lovely comments and support on social media. So thank you to everybody who is supporting me. I'm on target. I had a quick look. I've done 171 kilometers so far. So by my
Wow.
calculations, I've got
Nice.
139 to go. So I'm on target. I'll get there.
John, this is why you are our hero.
No. No. I think that the most important thing is not about the challenge. For me, what the important thing was, I'm doing this to support IATEFL as a charity, and IATEFL does such a lot of different things to support the English language teaching global community, through scholarships, through projects with teaching associations, through our wider membership scheme. And for me, this was all about actually highlighting and celebrating that. So that's the priority, that's the focus, I think, rather than me putting one foot in front of another.
Brilliant. Well done. Very well done, John. We will be there to cheer you on.
Yeah, thank you. I need.
I've just had an idea.
Yeah.
Girls, what if we do a challenge during IATEFL?
Oh,
And what if we throw that out to the wider members of the public to perhaps set that challenge for us?
I think that's an excellent idea. I'm happy to help them.
And I can see you getting very uncomfortable there. Just a thought.
Ah,
Let's see what pops up in the comments at the end of the live stream. We'll have a look and see if we can come up with something. Yeah.
I shall get texting in that case. That's an excellent idea.
Be nice.
Right,
Be
everybody,
nice.
I'm counting on you. This is your big chance to really sock it to them.
well, as long as it's not related to riding a bike, because I don't know how to ride a bike. So
What?
fine. Maybe that can be another challenge for IATEFL, maybe at the end of the year. So help Georgia learn how to ride a bike. Who knows?
Somebody put that in the comments, because seriously, I'm Dutch. We have 2.1 bike a person in this country. Like, it doesn't exist if you can't ride a bike.
I'm typing now.
Right.
Don't
This
worry.
is a serious problem. We need to solve this. Like, this is not even safe. How do you travel?
And just to change the subject, because this is something that is very good for me. Girls, I'm really sorry, but we're running out of time. So Right, but seriously though, I will see you girls later, because we have got a fantastic show. But before we tell you what our show is about, we have got John with more updates from the conference. So girls, goodbye. I'm not avoiding any bike-related conversations. And John, welcome back. So John, what have you got for us?
Right, some really important news. I had a quick check, Georgia. There are 82 days to go before the conference starts, which is rather a scary thought from my perspective, but it's getting really, really exciting. And hopefully people picked up on the fact that last week we launched our preview brochure. It's free for you to download and look through on our conference website, which is IATEFLconference.org. Just go to the preview brochure, have a look through it. Gives you a great idea of, first of all, who's going to be our main sort of plenary speakers, and they are a fantastic range of people, all focusing on really practical aspects of teaching in the classroom. So I'm really, really excited about that. It's sort of, if you feel as a teaching practitioner, each aspect or many aspects of what you do in the classroom are reflected in these plenaries, and how that profession has changed over time as well. So I'm really excited by that. But the preview brochure has details of more than 500 academic sessions over 4 days. So go and have a look, and you will be able to get a feel for what's on at the conference over the 4 days. Of course, not forgetting that the day before the conference starts, we have pre-conference events. Our amazing SIGs are organizing, our special interest groups, I should say, are organizing 13 different one-day events, all focused on a particular aspect of our profession. So go to the pre-conference page and just choose what's that event, that one day where you can really focus on the area of the profession that's of interest to you. And that's a wonderful thing to be able to do to start the conference, and also to make connections that you tend to stick with throughout the rest of the conference, because many people tend to focus on the sessions that are of professional interest to them. You tend to see and make friends during the days of the conference. Not forgetting, of course, IATEFL is not just a conference. We are here 52 weeks of the year. We have events going on right now and throughout the year, before the conference, after the conference, all the way through to December. And I always highlight this: you don't need to be a member of IATEFL to attend most of these events. Of course, if you are a member, they're cheaper for you. And of course, you get access to the recordings, you get your certificate of attendance. But go and have a look at our events page on the main IATEFL website and see if there's anything of interest to you. There are online events, there are face-to-face events, there's all sorts of things to look at. And I couldn't help, Georgia, but finish with a little screen of my walk. The only reason for that is there's a nice little QR code. So if anybody is kind enough to be able to support me in donating and walking and completing my challenge for IATEFL, that would be fantastic. But that's it from me, Georgia. Did that help?
Oh, absolutely, John. You just rushed through it.
I rattled through it, didn't I? Absolutely. Well, to be honest, it's the start of the year. There's so much ahead. Of course, a lot of our focus is on the conference in April in the beautiful city of Edinburgh, because it's coming around very quickly and there's such a positive vibe. There's, it's really building up to a crescendo. But don't forget, before, after, there's always lots happening at IATEFL.
Amazing. And John, how are the preparations going? How's head office right now? Can you give us a feel, the vibe in head office?
Exciting. It really is. It's one of those things. I'm sure every teacher knows this, everybody listening. It's that one thing that you know that you've got coming up, where you know there's lots of work, you know there's lots of pressure, but it's also the thing you look forward to in the year. It's really exciting, and we're very excited. There's a really good feeling around the preparations for Edinburgh. It's a lovely venue, a lovely city, a really good program, and the fantastic plenary speakers. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
You know what? When I had a look at the brochure, and now Anka and Nikki and myself, we are looking at the brochure to have a look at who we're going to interview in the live shows. Yeah. Who is going to be included, for example, in the themes, maybe. So yes, of course. It's very difficult to choose.
Yeah. I think also one of the things that that struck me is we've sort of gone beyond the AI bubble. Where I think so many sessions at so many conferences last year were just focused on that. Of course, that's reflected in our conference, but actually looking at the range of topics, there are so many diverse topics for teachers in the conference. That feels like a sort of rejuvenation now that we've got past 2024.
I must say, I did put the brochure on ChatGPT to get the summary of the themes.
And don't say it just said AI. No, it really shouldn't have.
But a list of these topics, it's incredible. Like, it kept going, and I said, wow.
I think that's the thing. It's not so much, I never look at it as it's over 500 sessions. What I look at it as is whatever you do in the profession, whether you teach young learners or business English or one-to-one or online teaching or research, whatever you do, you'll find a stream of sessions that are really, really relevant to you.
Exactly.
That for me is the key and the exciting part.
Fantastic. And John, I'm going to ask you then one question about your 2025. Are you ready?
Yes, I fortunately had time to think whilst you were talking to Nikki and Anka. And of course, my resolution for 2025 is on the 1st of February, I'm not going to walk. I'm going to stop walking for the rest of the year because I'll have done enough walking in January for the entire year. I shall probably ride a bike for the rest of the year and then teach you how to do it at the end of the year.
Oh, sorry, your connection is not very good, John. Sorry.
But there we go. Yeah, that's me.
Now, John, before you go, we have got a very good question from one member of our audience. Rita, please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Do EU citizens need a visa to travel to Edinburgh?
Oh, that's such a good question, and thank you for asking it. Okay, there is a change in the law, in the regulations in the UK this year, and it does affect EU citizens. You do not require specifically a visa, but the UK government are bringing in what they call an ETA. If you go to the IATEFL conference website, there is a page we've given you which explains what it is. To put it in short, there will be up to, I think, about 90 countries in the world that this is relevant to. Citizens from those countries won't need a visa to come to the UK to attend the conference. They'll need this ETA. It costs just £10. It lasts for 2 years, so it's not that expensive. You get it by downloading an app from the government website, but once you've got it, you can come and go in and out of the UK over those 2 years, and it does include countries in the European Union as well. They're bringing it in different stages for different areas of the world. The last area is for EU countries, but that is in March, and of course our conference is in April, so it will affect people. But once you've got this £10 ETA, then you are able to attend the conference. You don't need any other kind of visa. So what I would say is go to the IATEFL conference website, read that page. It's under booking information, and there are links which go through to the government website. Other thing I would stress is use those links. Don't just Google an ETA for the UK, because there are lots of companies who are trying to offer you the same thing for lots more money, and fraudulent companies as well. Just stick to the main one. That's the safest thing to do. But that's a really, really good question and very relevant for the conference.
Exactly. And John, are there any opportunities for people who are working, for example, to get a letter, for instance, for IATEFL?
Yes, absolutely. I remember before I worked for IATEFL, this was an important thing. So if you are thinking of coming to the conference and you would like your company or your organization, perhaps your local government, to support you in the cost of coming to the conference, then what can be useful is a letter of justification. This explains what the IATEFL conference is, the value of it. Now, on the IATEFL website, again, we have that letter. It's available in over 20 different languages, and you can just download that and print it out and pass that on to your course director, your employer, your local government office, as part of your application to attend the conference, and hopefully that will help you to come and join us in Edinburgh.
Amazing. And John, can I just say, there is a comment from a LinkedIn user. I'm really sorry I cannot see your name on our platform, that says there was a group of IATEFL runners who went for runs before the conference every day.
I remember this, absolutely. Yeah? Yes, I can safely say I never joined them, but I was always in awe of them. I'm aware of some of the people who used to do that. I think it's a fantastic idea and a great way to start the day. I won't be doing it because I get a little busy during conference peak, but yeah, it's a great thing to do. And what I would suggest to do, I mean, the conference centre is right in the city centre in Edinburgh, so you can plan a really, really interesting little route to run, going past Edinburgh Castle and the Royal Mile. Wonderful thing to do, great way to start the day, brilliant idea, not for me.
Lovely. So John, thank you very much for joining us. Now, just to get the feel of Edinburgh, I'm going to play the Edinburgh ad first.
Let's do that. Fabulous.
Yes. And we'll see you on the next show.
I look forward to it. Take care, everybody.
Oh, hello. That video looks amazing, doesn't it? Edinburgh looks like it's going to be so much fun.
Makes me want to be there.
Oh,
Yeah,
not long. It's only a few weeks. Okay, so for anyone that's just joined, welcome back. And it's a great pleasure to be joined by Sue Leather and Maureen McGarvey. Good afternoon, you two. How are you both? And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Really well, thanks.
I'm good. I'm good.
Lovely. Where are you both joining us from this afternoon?
I'm based in Vancouver, so it's actually morning. It's quite early.
Oh, wow.
6:22, so it's kind of dark outside, which is why I don't have any light at the moment.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that is really early. Okay, Maureen, where are you?
I'm based in London, so just a sort of normal grey London day.
Yeah, I think it's grey everywhere. It's the same in the Czech Republic as well. It's that time of year. Well, it's very nice to have you both here. For anyone that hasn't met you yet, can I just ask you to introduce yourselves and kind of say what your involvement with IATEFL is? Sue, maybe we could start with you.
Sure. So my name is Sue Leather. I'm an ELT person. Obviously a consultant, and have done various jobs during my career. With IATEFL, I've been a member of IATEFL, I think, since I first started out, years and years and years, and I've always followed up with IATEFL. I actually founded the ELT Management SIG. I think it's now called the ELT Management and Leadership SIG of IATEFL back in the day. So many years link to IATEFL.
Lovely. Okay. Maureen, tell us about you.
Well, as is so true, we all stand on the shoulders of giants. So I'm a teacher trainer, a management trainer, and thank you, Sue, for founding the Leadership and Management Special Interest Group. I was a committee member on that SIG for several years, and then I was a committee member of Scholarship Committee and then chair of Scholarship Committee for 6 years. So that was 11 years in total on Scholarship Committee. I stepped down in Belfast at the conference there. So yes, a long connection with IATEFL and a great fondness for it.
Oh, Maureen, how are you filling that void?
With Eve.
With it, oh, this is okay, brilliant. So in case anyone has just tuned in and has heard the word Eve, Eve isn't a person, but Eve stands for Equal Voices in ELT, and that's what we'd like to chat to you about this afternoon. Well, let me just start by asking, well, what is it and where did it come from?
So it's an organization. It's called Eve, Equal Voices in ELT, and it was Fiona Mauchline and I co-founded this organization back in 2017. And our idea was, well, a couple of things really. One was that when we looked at conferences around the world, we saw that women tended to be underrepresented on plenary panels, as keynote speakers. And the other idea was that local speakers tended to be underrepresented. So quite often a conference would kind of fly in, want to quote here, native speakers from London or wherever, rather than using their own speakers. And so we thought this was a shame, and we'd like to do something about it. Well, we started off kind of working a bit top down by giving badges to organizations, to conferences that kind of did the right thing, got some kind of parity in their plenary lineups, and that's where we started. And then, sorry, it's quite a long answer, but then in 2020, I started thinking that, yeah, this was all very well, working top down, giving badges, the community was supporting us, but wouldn't it be nice to also work bottom up? And so in 2020, we started working on mentoring programs and mentoring usually young women speakers to become plenary speakers at conferences around the world. So that, in a nutshell, that's the background. Sorry, Maureen, I've more or less said everything.
No, that's it.
But I was going to ask Maureen, how did you get involved with this?
Well, once I stepped down from IATEFL, as you say, I suddenly had all this free time, and I thought, well, what can I do? And I saw some social media posts about Eve, and I applied to be a mentor, and I mentored on a program with Eve for a while. And then I was asked to be a coordinator of a program, because each program, and you'll hear from later speakers, I think, has one or two coordinators from Eve and from the local teaching association. So I was asked to mentor a program with, I think, Latin America and Caribbean Tucson, which I did. And then Sue and Alex asked me if I would join the newly formed steering committee for Eve. So the four of us, myself, Sue, Alex, and Chris, who we'll also speak to in a bit, I think, work together to broaden the reach of Eve and to plan our overall strategy and direction.
Okay, and so is Eve predominantly concerned with mentoring speakers, for example? Is that the main aim, or are there other things that are also happening with the organisation?
I think our main focus at the moment is on mentoring. We still give badges to organisations that contact us and say, look at our lineup. But the mentoring has become quite big, because we're now working with probably 6 or 7 different teachers associations. We partner with teachers associations to do this. And it's, quite time intensive, I would say. So that's where our focus is at the moment. We also, of course, do outreach to the community, ELT community at large, and tell them what we're doing and try to forge new relationships, etc. So all in all, that's where we are at the moment.
And how, if anyone was watching and thinking this is really interesting and perhaps wanted to be mentored or wanted to be a mentor, how could they participate, take part? Is there a process for this?
Well, there is a process, in the sense that, if you're someone who's an experienced conference speaker and has perhaps some experience of working with teachers and supporting teachers, and you'd like to do more of that through Eve, then you can either contact us through our social media, message us, or send an email to theevecalendar.com. And we'll then send you a mentor information form and then pair you with any of the programs that are coming up. We're always keen to have new mentors, because, as Sue said, we're running a lot of programs, and there are a lot more programs coming in 2025, and our mentors are all volunteers and give their own time freely and incredibly generously. But if you have 6 or 7 programs running, that's 60 or 70 mentors that you need. So having a bank of experienced mentors who want to contribute and can make the time to do that is invaluable for us. Sue, I think you're better placed to talk about if you want to run a program, because that was the other part of your question, if you wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Maybe that if you were thinking, oh, this would be a fantastic thing to have in my context.
Yeah, so we partner with teachers associations to achieve this. So we really can't just start a program in a place without that connection. So we rely on teachers associations contacting us and saying, listen, I think this would be really great. So I would say to anybody, if you're a member of a teachers association, even if you're not on the committee, you can always go to the people in charge and say, look, this sounds great. Could we do that here? And we've had a couple of examples of people doing that. But yeah, we need to have that partnership to really make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, yeah, Maureen.
I was going to say, and it really does work in terms of sowing the seed and mentees becoming more confident speakers. And I wanted to draw people's attention to the fact that in Edinburgh 2025 conference, for example, one of our mentors, Sinem Deridere, is giving a presentation with her mentee, Ivana Devcic, from a program we ran with Hupe Croatia, and they're giving a session at IATEFL on the mentoring experience for them. So from being a nervous teacher who came on the mentoring program and wanted to improve her confidence in public speaking, Ivana is now giving a presentation at IATEFL 2025.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's such a nice story, isn't it? To be able to say, look what we're achieving and look what's happening. Oh, I think it's fantastic, and especially, sorry, Sue, carry on.
Sorry. Maureen just reminded me that I should say that we also run an online conference every year. So we've done it for 2 years now, and we'll have another one coming up this year in May or June. We haven't fixed the date yet. So that's an opportunity for our mentees from different programs. We invite them to put in a proposal. I mean, we don't accept all proposals, but you know, so we run an online one-day online conference, and that's an opportunity for mentees to show what they've got to the world, kind of thing. Yeah.
And if I can just chip in, Nikki, with one more example, nicely how my two worlds collide, because after all those years of working on scholarship committee, one of our mentees has won a scholarship to IATEFL 2025.
Oh,
And we'll be attending. So as I always said on scholarship committee, you have to be in it to win it. And that's a great result for us, that one of our mentees felt confident enough then to apply for a scholarship. We're very proud of her.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not surprised. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you both so much for introducing the initiative. Maureen, as you said, we've got a few more people on the show this afternoon who are going to tell us a few more things. I think we'll pop the links that you mentioned, Maureen, in order to get in touch with you guys if you're interested in either mentoring or setting up a program. We'll pop those in the comments. So, well, I look forward to seeing what you guys are doing at IATEFL and coming to the presentation. That sounds absolutely fantastic.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, guys. I think Georgia has a question just before we let you go, don't you, Georgia?
I do indeed. So as we always do with our participants and of course our audience, I have got some fun questions for you.
Okay.
So if your 2024 was a film, what film would it be?
Oh my God.
Oh God, it would be something quite exciting. I don't know. Something, I don't know. I'm not very good on action films, but it would definitely be something quite exciting because lots of activity, lots of new things. I don't know. You'll have to let me think about that, Georgia.
No problem. And Maureen, what about you? You can also say a genre instead of a film.
Oh, well, I'm with Sue on the exciting front. I've just had a bit of a binge watching two of my favorite films ever, which is Godfather 1 and Godfather 2.
Yes.
I'm not saying that my life represents the Corleone family, but there are certainly points of last year which have had similar highs and lows. No horse's head in the bed yet, thank the Lord. Let's see how it goes.
But you see, Eve sounds like an offer nobody can refuse.
Thank you, Georgia.
I never took you for a mafiosa.
Brilliant. Thank you both very much. That sounds very, very exciting. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you,
Georgia. Thank you, Nikki. Thanks.
Amazing. Now, of course, we're going to continue our empowering journey with Eve. And next, we have got Anka, Chris, and Alex from IATEFL who are going to tell us more. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm going to disappear into the background, but before
Okay.
let's talk about Eve, Alex and Chris, I have the same question for you about your, not 2024, but 2025. What kind of film would your 2025 be? So if we were like December 2025, how would you describe it?
Chris, you want to go first?
Not really, no.
Okay, then I'll go first.
I'll think about it. I'll answer it at the end.
Okay, so you just want me to say like what kind of a movie it would be, right?
Yes.
Can I mix the two genres? I think mine would be action and horror. Yeah, because 2025 starts with another move, so and another job, a new one, and then some other professional things, and and it's scary, it's challenging, it's fun, it's exciting, but it's also scary. So that's why I would say action and horror at the same time. Yeah.
Well, if we're thinking about genres, mine would probably have to be some kind of satire because I'm so cynical about everything. So
He is.
But undoubtedly both blockbusters.
well,
Oh, yes.
obviously, yes.
I'd buy the cinema ticket to that for sure. Even with
Okay.
cinema prices these days, I'd buy. Like I'd go.
Well, thank you very much, Anka, for that.
Amazing. I'll leave you to it. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Georgia.
And before we continue talking about Eve, I'm going to ask you the same thing as well. Like, could you introduce yourselves? Maybe say how you're involved with IATEFL, if you have a daily life outside of IATEFL, and what it is you two do.
Okay, well, I'm a teacher trainer. That's what I do now most of the time. I'm also the current president of IATEFL. That's what I do most of my time. But it's a lot of fun doing both. To be honest, I love teacher training and I love being part of IATEFL. So I really don't mind doing lots and lots of things for IATEFL and with the other trustees. So that's kind of what I do. Yeah, that's me.
I'm also a teacher educator. I specialize in working in what my insurance company calls fragile environments, which is war and post-war conflicts. I'm very interested in teachers who've been through and students who've been through traumatic journeys. So I'm involved in that. I'm vice president of IATEFL, and I should be taking over from Alex at the conference in Edinburgh. And I found out today that there is a qualification if you wish to become either president or VP of IATEFL. You have to be unable to ride a bicycle, because it turned out neither Alex nor I can ride a bike. So if you can ride a bicycle, don't bother standing for president because you won't get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was so happy when I heard this. This is like interviewing my boss's boss's boss and future boss. And then like you're both very inspiring people. And then I was like getting this sort of stress building up. And then it's like, they can't ride a bike. They're human. Like, we'll fix this in April, obviously. But
probably other things we can't do as well. So.
No, I don't believe that. But Eve, that's what we're talking about today, is obviously everything that you're doing for Equal Voices in ELT. And there's a reason we're talking about this now, because last year, if we're talking about what kind of film that would be, last year was kind of a award-winning kind of film, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a big year for Eve because Eve won the Elton's Outstanding Achievement Award, something that I don't think we actually expected. And it's a huge achievement, and we're very proud of our mentors and mentees and everyone who volunteers or volunteered in the past for Eve, because this is team effort and this is teamwork. So we're very proud of that.
So for the people who don't know, like even I had to ask, like Eltons, and then everybody told me it's like the Oscars of film. It's like the Grammys in music. That's the Eltons in ELT. But how does that go? And what does it do?
Chris, I think.
Yeah, well, the Eltons is run by the British Council, and yes, calling it the Oscars is a bit of an exaggeration, perhaps, but it is quite a powerful thing, actually. And I'm also an Elton's judge, so I've seen a lot of small publishing companies, small initiatives from around the world who have been nominated and in some cases have won. And it does spotlight really interesting and exciting things going on in ELT around the world that might not necessarily come to the forefront. So, of course, there's probably some commercial advantage people get from that. But the fact is, as I said, local publishing projects, small scale stuff. Wow, everybody knows about us now. So it's a really nice event, and I was absolutely delighted, of course, when Eve got one. It came somewhat out of the blue, and it was very flattering to do that. But I think for everybody, it does give a lift to say, okay, what we are doing has been recognised by our peers, which is basically what it is. I mean, I'm a judge in other categories, and all the judges, they're peers, So
I was going to ask that, because obviously you said you're a judge, and it came out of the blue. How does that work? So different categories, different judges?
Different categories, yeah. They're completely separated. There's absolutely no conflicts. Any conflicts of interest have to be declared.
Obviously, yeah.
So the judging process is very hands-off and completely anonymous too.
So how did you guys hear about this?
Got an email, presumably.
How did we hear that Eve won an Elton? Well, actually, Sue got that email, and we have our very lively WhatsApp group for the steering committee, and she immediately sent a message, and we were just really, really surprised. We were really surprised. We just didn't expect that. So I would also like to say a huge thank you to those people who nominated Eve for this award. So thank you very much. We wouldn't have done it without you. So that support means a lot to all of us. So it was quite exciting to get that message, So thank you, Sue, for sharing that information with us.
It's one of those where were you when it happened kind of things. But more importantly, why did you two join or start this? Like, what was your motivation behind it?
Okay, well, I was approached by Sue and Fiona, who co-founded Eve. I know that it was at IATEFL Brighton 2018. And of course, I've known Sue and Fiona for a long time. Well, Fiona more than Sue. And when they approached me, I really, really loved the idea of such an initiative. And I think that initiative is something that was missing from the world of ELT. And someone who is, of course, female, a woman, an English language teaching professional, and someone who is not, as people would say, a native speaker. Okay, so English is not my first language. I really love the whole idea of promoting equity and parity in ELT. And then when the whole idea of mentoring, when we started playing with that idea, I just absolutely loved it, because I think that we need more representation of female teachers from around the world at ELT conferences and other ELT events. So that's when I joined Eve as one of the board members, and I've been part of Eve ever since. Now I'm on the steering committee, and I play a very important role, which is creating WhatsApp groups with the mentors and the mentees. And then, of course, support the whole initiative. I'm also, right now, I'm in charge of the badges that we issue for ELT events. So I encourage all those who organize ELT events, and if they have parity in their plenary lineups, to get in touch if they want an Eve badge. And I'm also currently supporting the new mentoring program that we have with TESOL Greece. But in general, I support everything that Eve does as an initiative.
Beautiful. And Chris, you don't seem to be the sort of average non-native female. How did you get involved with Eve?
Well spotted. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, if someone kind of arrived from another planet and dropped them, parachuted into the ELT community, they'd look around and see largely females. I mean, the vast majority of EFL teachers, I have no idea what percentages are, would be female. I mean, I travel a lot around the world, as does Alex, and I meet largely females, women teachers. And then you look at the lineup for a conference and you see lots of little white male faces. You think, what? That bugged me for a while. So, there's something wrong there when you've got the vast community of one gender, and most EFL teachers are not native speakers, whatever that means. And yet here we have these native speaking men telling them how to do things, and that struck me as a bit odd. So I actually wrote to Eve and said, well, I'm a man, I'm a bloke. How would you feel about having me as a mentor? And Sue said, well, I can't think why not. She's probably regretted it since. So I absolutely love the process, because the great thing about Eve and the mentoring is you see impact quickly. You see these women in the first session, some of them are quite shy because they don't want to get it. I'm not quite sure about this. And then you see them in the final session, their presentation. It's actually the same person. And it's absolutely astonishing. With many projects that I do in my professional life, the impact takes weeks, months, years even before it's palpable, before it's visible. In Eve, it's very quick. Mentoring is very, very powerful, because it's not telling people how to do things. It's discussing and building on what they already have. It's a conversation. It's not a course. And just seeing those results after 10 weeks, 11 weeks is just, oh, we're really doing something. And that's what makes me so proud of it, and of our mentors and of our mentees, that we are really making a difference, I think, anyway.
Yeah. And I would just like to add that there's a lot of professional but also personal growth, something that Chris has already mentioned. So you see this change in these teachers, at a personal level as well. They become more open, they start communicating more. So that's why we also set up these WhatsApp groups, so that they can communicate among each other, so they can support each other on this very important journey for them. So there's a lot of growth in these mentoring programs. So we're very happy about that.
I love it. And I love hearing why you do this, because I think it's voluntary work. And there's a reason why you do. I mean, we all have a job for salary that hopefully we love, but voluntary work, you know why you're doing this. Which begs me the question, why should other people do this?
Well, I think it's just that personal,
sorry.
satisfaction. No, that's fine. Don't worry. We understand. Okay. So I think it's just, that personal satisfaction that you get, and the professional satisfaction that you get, because I think that through the process of volunteering and mentoring, it's not only the mentees who grow professionally and personally, it's the mentors and the steering committee as well, because I personally have learned so many things over the years from the other members of the steering committee, but also from our mentors and mentees. And, being a volunteer for IATEFL for so many years, again, I've learned so many things. I've gained so many friends. So there's always something to get out of volunteering. Yes, sometimes it's difficult to balance things. You have your professional duties and responsibilities, then you have your personal ones, and then you have these volunteering ones. But I think that people who truly love volunteering, they can make this work.
I agree. I mean, there are moments when you think, oh, I should be doing some paid work now, I can't, but you find a way. And you meet nice people volunteering. You meet nice people in your paid work. But I mean, I think the people that volunteer generally are pretty decent people, I think, and making an impact.
Well, it's a bit awkward to continue and say I'm a volunteer, but if I can add to this for anyone thinking about should I, one of the things I absolutely love is that it's like a mailing list. It's one of the most low-key but inspiring things that I've ever signed up for. It's like, we have a project, do you have time? Sign up. If you don't, that's fine. Next one, we'll send you an email again. And I love that. It's like I said, very low-key, but so worth it. So people should. Last question. And that ties in with what George has been asking everybody, New Year's resolutions. So 2024 was the year of the Eltons. What's your next goal? So what Eve 2025, what's on the wish list?
More mentoring programs with more teachers associations from all over the world. We're currently planning new programs as of April, because we're starting a new one then. And then we're planning some new ones for the fall of this year. But yeah, that's something that I see for Eve in 2025. That's something that I would love to see Eve just kind of expanding all over the world. So if anyone from any teachers association is watching us, please, if you're interested in working with Eve on a new mentoring program, get in touch and let's work together and let's make some changes.
And I'd like to add, even if you're not from a teachers association, but you're in a country and you think this is what we need or this is what I need, find your association and tell them to contact. Because I think this should be bigger. And
Yes.
I love the concept behind it.
Thank you, Anka.
So thank you both very, very much. And can I just add that Elizabeth, who's joining us from Facebook, Elizabeth, hello, is saying onwards and upwards. And I think that these are two words that can definitely describe 2025. Would you agree?
Yes, and thank you, Elizabeth, for that. Elizabeth is one of our mentors and program coordinators. So a huge thank you to Elizabeth for everything when it comes to Eve. And yes, excellent choice of words, Elizabeth.
Absolutely. And one other thing I say, I'm always going on about sustainability. Eve is creating sustainable communities of teachers, of women educators around the world. You know, in their TA, in their community, they're building these little armies of people who are ready to go out and present. So that's also sustainability in practice, isn't it?
This is very important, Chris. Yes, and Elizabeth says, I just love Eve. So if anyone from Eve would like to be present here in the show, please feel free. We welcome anyone who wants to inspire other people. So please feel free to get in touch with me, and we would be happy to invite you here on the show to talk about how you mentor people, how you inspire people as well. Now, Alex and Chris, because you're not off the hook, I will ask you one last question before we go to our last guest. Now, if you could inspire our audience with one word, what would that be?
I would say Eve, but that's too easy.
No, Chris, you go first this time.
Listen. That's my word.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Listen. Good.
Yes, and I would say the same. Listen. That's how things start.
Amazing. Lovely. Thank you both very, very much. And we will see you soon. I hope you're getting ready for Edinburgh as well.
Oh, yes.
Excellent. Lovely. And we will see you soon. Thank you very much.
Hello, welcome back. Last but definitely not least this afternoon, I'm joined by George and Maria. Thank you very much for being here this afternoon.
It's our pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Oh, you're more than welcome. So as is the theme of the afternoon, you are also part of Eve. Can you, just for our audience, could you briefly introduce yourself and tell us what your involvement in the initiative is?
Maria, would you like to go first?
Sure. Thank you, George. Well, my name is Maria Pitkowska. I'm an English language teacher for more than 20 years now, and currently I am Eve's mentoring program coordinator.
Oh, okay. Lovely. Thank you. And George?
I'm George Kokolas. I do many things among Eve. I'm a teacher trainer. I work for Express Publishing as a teacher trainer. I also am a positive educator. My area of research for the last 4 years is positive education. I have a podcast, and I'm the vice president of TESOL Greece, and of course, also like Maria, together coordinator for the latest Eve program.
Wow. Okay. And what does being the coordinator involve? Is it a demanding job?
I would say yes and no, in the sense that it's not rocket science, but it does require some really good organizational skills. Obviously, me and Maria and the rest of coordinators may have other agendas as well and other things to do. So you need to coordinate with at least more than 8 people, 15 people, mentors, mentees. Actually, I think 20, almost 20 people together. Make sure that these people connect with each other, that they communicate, explain to them what the program is all about, how things are done, and then, you know, let them with their mentoring process.
Oh, and have you had the opportunity to be mentors yourselves throughout this time, or are you just involved in the coordination?
I haven't,
Yes,
so George.
Yes, I've been a mentor for 2 programs. That's one of the stages where I got to meet Eve. It was the Caribbean TESOL, the first one that I participated, and the second one, the one with Hupe, Croatia. So I have learned the ropes quite well, both from the outside and the inside. And when the proposal came to become a coordinator with Maria for TESOL Greece, I immediately said yes.
Oh,
I haven't been a mentor, but I'm a former mentee, which means that I have had a pretty lovely and empowering experience with this program.
Gosh, this is fantastic. You get to meet and work with people that you wouldn't necessarily ordinarily, you know, get to work with, and to grow together and to help each other. Something I'm very interested to find out is, were there any very powerful moments or any wonderful stories that you have from your experience of either being a mentee or coordinating or mentoring?
Yes, basically it was during mentoring that for me was very relieving experiences, because it's what Christopher and Alexandra stressed in the previous session. You can feel this growing of the mentee. Women that had absolutely no experience, they even sometimes had the fear about public speaking, and together you're taking them by the hand, and progressively you see this transformation. And it's a huge transformation for you as a mentor, because you know, we've been learning this as well. It's not something that we know how to do it empirically, but you know, in the process, since this is a human process, many new aspects are being revealed. So taking someone who is complete green in that field by the hand and transform him to be on stage and perform, it's a great achievement, not only for the mentee, but for the mentor as well. And for me, that was a revealing, let's say, process and experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. And Maria, what was it like being the mentee?
Well, at the time when I joined the program, I have to admit that I felt quite insecure. I was really reluctant to speak at conferences because I was shy, because I thought that the topics that I had in mind were not relevant. But I have to admit that this program helped me to change my mindset and encouraged me to share my knowledge and experience. And since then, I have participated at many conferences, even at IATEFL last year.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what made you take that step? Because I'm sure there are people probably watching thinking, oh, I couldn't do that. You know, I'm not ready, or I've got nothing to say. What would you say to them, and how would you encourage them to take that step?
Thank you for this question. But Maria, please, no, please.
No,
please.
it's okay.
Come on.
Okay, well, this is a very, very beneficial program for every ELT professional, especially if they do have lots of experience in the classroom. I bet that they have a lot to say. And if they're lacking confidence, then I think that they should make an effort to join the program, because it will benefit a lot. Because with this program, they are offered guidance, they are offered lots of support and lots of constructive feedback. And eventually, as George said at the very beginning, I do believe that they will find their voice and strength to speak openly at conferences and, you know, share their experience and knowledge.
And if I am to add to that, I think now there is a lot also of psychology research to that says usually you are very bad predictors when it comes down to how we're going to do in a certain activity. Sometimes we have all these misconceptions that we are going to be embarrassed, or everybody will somehow judge us, or, you know, we do have these fears as people, specifically, you know, in our profession, that sometimes it tends to be a little bit insecure. So when it comes down to public speaking, and when you're on the stage, this is maybe a frightening or intimidating experience for some people. But when they find out that there is an organization like Eve that can literally offer you all this service of first calming down the brain, this is nothing, you can do it, everybody can do it, and it shows you step by step how it's done, and you actually do it, then one, you have nothing to lose. As Christopher said, you see the immediate results, and you become an evangelist of this process. That's why I must say that the first time that I announced to the TESOL Greece members and to the rest of the teachers that we are going to be running a program with Eve, the response was amazing. I thought that we would have just like, you know, no more than 10 people as applicants, and we had almost triple the number, which means that people want to do this, want to try this, and maybe gradually they're overcoming this fear.
I mean, that's wonderful, isn't it? To kind of see that actually there are so many people that would like to, but maybe they were never given the opportunity or didn't feel that there was the support network out there in order to take the risk and to take the chance and to have a go. I mean, hats off for everything that you're doing for people. And yeah, just once again, if anyone is interested, please do just take that jump. I mean, it is as easy as sending an email, isn't it? And that's how the journey can begin.
Exactly. And as it was stated before, they can contact their local association, teacher association, and the association can actually contact us. But we are everywhere right now in a very accessible association, very open to discussion. And if there are any questions, we are more than willing to help and clarify them all the time, all of us.
Oh, this is fantastic. Is there anything else, any final words that you have for anyone out there about Eve that you'd like to share?
Be part of Eve. It's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fantastic, absolutely fantastic initiative. Oh, I can see Georgia. Georgia, what do you have to say?
No, go ahead, Nikki. You know, I'm coming here with my difficult questions.
No, I think that's it. Just to finish off again, like, really don't be afraid to take the step. If anyone's watching and thinking, oh, I'm not sure, I feel that we very often kind of feel that we have imposter syndrome and that we can't do this and that we've got nothing to say. And it's not true. Everything brings something to the table. Everyone brings something to the table. So do it. Take the chance. Absolutely. Georgia.
Amazing. So first of all, I want to say thank you to all of the people involved with Eve. So George, Maria, Sue, Maureen, Chris, Alex, and anyone else, and Elizabeth, I saw in the comments, anyone else I don't know, please, can I just say that you're wonderful, you're doing a fantastic job as a non-native speaker, female as well, myself, I can just say that this is brilliant work. And while reading about Eve, it just made me feel so excited about this program, and it's just brilliant. So well done, and thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
So
thank you for giving us the opportunity to send, and multiply this message to even a wider audience, because the more the merrier. Everybody can become member.
Amazing. Now, of course, George and Maria, we have got one last thing for you to answer. Now, while you're thinking, I'm going to post the Eve website as a banner here for people to contact and have a look at. But Maria and George, my question to you is, if you could paint your 2025 as a picture, as a beautiful painting, what colors would it include? And while you're thinking, I'm going to put the link in the on the screen. So this is the website for Eve. So feel free to visit. It's a really great initiative. So what would your 2025 painting, what colors would it have?
It's a little bit easy for me. I would go definitely for blue, not because it's my favorite color, but because it presents the sky and the sea, and because 2024 had a lot of traveling for me. I think 2025 is going to be the same. I hope to be the same. And it's not only about personal traveling. It's very much connected to what Christopher and Alex said before. I want to listen, connect with people through traveling. And I believe that this should be, at least it's my motto for 2025, to speak and connect with as many people as possible. Because I feel that this is an era, or going through that connection is, in a way, imperative. We have started a little bit isolating ourselves from one each other. So the more people simply talk, don't do anything more, even more, it's better. That would be my target and my painting. Blue.
Okay, lovely. I love the idea of blue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Maria?
Well, I would choose green. It was a calm, it was a peaceful year. It was successful year. So green, sorry, different shades of green, and maybe a little bit of yellow, like the sunshine.
Amazing, lovely. So thank you both very, very much, and thank you all very, very much for joining us. Now I'm going to say goodbye to George and Maria, and I'm going to bring Anka back in just to say goodbye and see you in February.
Absolutely. Have a great month, everybody, and we'll see you, in a month's time.
And now, before we go, I must say that this was a very empowering show, because we started strong with Eve, which is a very empowering program and a very inspiring program as well. So what I would like to say is that we're starting strong the year. Normally, I don't do New Year's resolutions because, as I said before, New Year, same me, because I have never been the problem. But what I would like to mention is in February, we're going to get more inspiration, and we're going to have a Sing Among Us. So stay tuned.
Exciting.
All right.
And you definitely set the bar high with this one. Inspiring.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great year. Thank you very much, everybody. See you in February.
Bye.
Bye.